Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's recipe is going to be a creamy, delicious tantanmen. The first time I had tantanmen was in Tokyo in this restaurant called T's Tantan, which is a vegan ramen place. It reminded me so much of the Chinese version tantanmen. And to me, that is one of my ultimate comfort foods, just creamy sesame broth with some chewy wheat noodles. So I hope you enjoy this recipe and let's get into it. We're going to start by making the broth. I'm using a few different kinds of dried mushrooms for the broth. I'm using some almond mushrooms, button mushrooms, and shiitake mushrooms. Here I'm just washing the mushrooms in some clean water and just using my fingers to scrub off any dirt on them. Once they're thoroughly cleaned, remove them from the water. In a pot, pour in 1 cup of water and bring it to a boil. Add in 1 piece of kombu and our dried mushrooms. Let it boil for 2 to 3 minutes. After 2 to 3 minutes, your kombu should have softened. Remove it from the water. Let your mushrooms simmer in the broth for another 3 minutes and then remove them from the broth. Add 3/4 cups of oat milk to this broth and your ramen broth is done. Next, we're preparing our ramen toppings. Here I have some bok choy, which I'm going to slice into quarters lengthwise. I'd recommend to use 1 stalk of bok choy per serving. Once the dried mushrooms have cooled down, we're going to remove the stalks from the shiitake mushrooms, then mince them to create a mushroom mince for our topping. Then set aside your minced mushrooms. Mince 1 clove of garlic. Set aside your minced garlic. Mince 1/2 inch of ginger. I'm cutting off some fresh corn kernels. Then I'm using my fingers just to separate all the kernels. Then set aside your corn kernels. Slice some green onions that we're going to use for the topping later on. In a wok, heat up 1 teaspoon of oil on medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add in your corn kernels. Season with some salt and some white pepper. Saute your corn on high heat for about 4 minutes until they become a vibrant yellow color and they have a bit of a char on them. Then remove them from the wok and set it aside. Now we're going to make our mushroom mince. So in a wok, add in 1 teaspoon of oil. Once the oil is heated, add in the minced ginger. Saute for 3 to 4 minutes on medium-high heat. Once it starts to brown, add in your minced garlic. Saute for 1 to 2 minutes. Then add in your minced mushrooms. Saute for 3 to 4 minutes until it's nice and fragrant and a little charred. Then add in your textured soy protein or any vegan mince. Saute for 2 to 3 minutes. Then add in some soy sauce. And some dark soy sauce. Then mix thoroughly so that all the mince is one even color. Set aside your mushroom mince. In each ramen bowl, add in 1.5 tablespoons of toasted sesame paste, 1 teaspoon of chili oil, half a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Whisk this mixture together until it's a smooth, creamy texture. In a pot, bring some water to a boil. Add in your chopped bok choy and boil it for 2 to 3 minutes. Remove your bok choy from the water once it becomes a vibrant green color. In that same boiling water, we're going to boil our noodles. Boil your noodles according to the instructions on the package. Here I'm using some frozen wheat noodles, so these just take about 5 minutes. Pour your broth into your ramen bowl. Use a whisk to mix your sesame paste and broth together. Now add in your noodles. Then add in your different toppings. Garnish with some green onions and some red chili flakes. Top it off with more chili oil or more sesame oil. Here is our tantanmen all done and ready to be served. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and let's get into the taste test. The soup is perfectly creamy from the sesame paste and from the oat milk, and the oat milk has a really subtle taste, so it's not overpowering. The sesame paste, the corn has a hint of a smoky flavor, and it goes so well with this soup. Let's try a bit of this mushroom mince. So much flavor. The mince has such a deep flavor from the mix of different dried mushrooms, and together with the garlic, ginger, and soy sauce, it's amazing. I'm going to continue enjoying this delicious dish but I hope you enjoyed watching. Like this video if you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.